you have to tell us about some of the exciting things that you guys having coming up that actually is here. Like things are changing. Tell us about that.
Yeah, it's exciting time here. We are officially changing our name from Everest to Lensing. And I want to tell you, maybe a minute or so about the why. We call the company Everest. We were in stealth for about 4.5 years, which is a long time between 2020 and 2024. And the reason behind that was to give us, the thing that oftentimes startups don't have, which is the luxury of time to focus on building something that we think is truly the next generation or the reinvention of this category. Um, and while we were in stealth, we spoke to hundreds of customers, actually about a customer a day, to really understand what their specific deep industry problems were, whether it was subscription and consumption billing or supply chain or what have you. And a lot of our roadmap came from those discussions on the application side. And funnily enough, many companies we talk to, they call their ERP implementations Everest because it was a big project. It was a hard project, but worth it if you got over the line. And we just thought that that was an authentic name to give to the company that represented the journey, if you will, to go from nothing to something meaningful. And so we call the company Everest, but we're past that phase of the company now. We've been in market for a couple of years, and continuing to get adopted more and more upmarket and more into the enterprise. And I think with all that, and with all the world changing so much in the last several years around I think we chose the new name Lensing because Lensing is really about the forces that they bring things into focus and bring clarity to a complex, hairy problem. And that's what we're hoping to do for our customers with ERP going forward. I think that regardless of where the technology, you could look at the technology in isolation, but regardless of where the technology was going, the business world was already changing due to revenue complexity, due to internationalization complexity. We were born during the COVID era. And so then there was supply chain complexity as well. Like that was a big part of the talk track, if you remember back in 2020, 2021, was the constrained supply chains around the world. And so those were all aspects, I think, of different kinds of either revenue, cost, operational complexity that were indicating that these systems are just not dynamic enough to keep up with how people want to run business today.